Good afternoon. It is the... You're going to have to move that thing.
Oh, yeah, I've just
realised, haven't you? Yeah, you're going to have to move that. It is the press conference reaction time. David Moyes did his press conference this morning at 10:30. And I bless him for doing them that early. Like, I bless the rains down in Africa.
You bless him for doing it that early?
Yeah, because it's done, isn't it? We come in and it's all done. We don't have to wait till like 2 o'clock and lose, an hour of our day, and then we have to wait for the press conference to come over. It's done, isn't it? Means we've got to...
But would you rather them do it at 10 on a Friday or do it on a Thursday, just in general?
Yeah, probably Thursday, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't really matter. I don't really care.
It's been us 3 days back to back now.
Dream team. Dream team. Know that song, I Had Some Help, which is actually from the Venom film, but which makes sense. That's us, literally.
We're Post Malone.
Basically. I don't know which one of us is Post Malone, but...
I'll take Post Malone.
Yeah. Well, I want Post Malone because the other one's like a country star.
It's not my country star.
But then for Tier List Tuesday, for the theme song...
It's you.
It's me, innit?
Post Malone was my first ever concert.
Was he, yeah?
I didn't go to a concert till I was like 20. And I went to 4 in a week.
What were the 4?
Post Malone, Arthur Monkeys, Sam Fender, and Coldplay.
Nice. It's a good...
All across the country as well.
It's a good collection of... If that was offered to you again, but you had to drive, would you do it?
If I had to drive?
Yeah.
Oh. I mean, yeah, because it was a great week, but I'd be absolutely terrified because it was in like Cardiff and Newcastle, so it's literally going everywhere.
Cardiff was terrible for getting to.
Yeah.
Anyway, we digress. Yeah, David, not too much was said other than Lindstrom is probably out for the rest of the season. He's had a hernia operation, so he's out for the rest of the season, which is disappointing for him. I think that might be his chance of coming back gone, unless we could get a good loan for him, like a favourable loan for him. We'll have to wait and see on that. David Moyes said he will not look at the contract situations till we are mathematically safe.
We said in about 2 weeks because he got asked, didn't he? Like, has he been looking into any transfers and stuff?
Yeah.
He said they've started looking into them, and that's why you're starting to see like links probably emerge, but they're not really making any final decisions until we're actually all mathematically done. But the stuff he said about Branthwaite I thought was interesting. Did you get onto that?
Yeah.
Where he said like he's had to deal with like big players going to bigger clubs in a way that he doesn't really see this happening with Jared Branthwaite, and he's got 3 years left on his deal.
Well, yeah, because obviously this is the man who had to sell.
We said Lescott,
Rooney, Arteta. Different stages of his time at Everton. Different financial situations. Some, Lescott, yeah, that was a good team, and we suffered from then on for a couple of years, and that led into we replaced them with extra players, but we never had a team as strong as that. But no, he said he's got 3 years basically left on a contract. We owed all the cards, and he said, he just sounded like he didn't want. He said, I don't want to lose him. So it sounded like, it probably go the other way. I heard something this week that Everton had started contract talks with him, like the process. Yeah, the process of contract talks with him. So Branthwaite would be looking at it, going, well, if I'm staying, if I am staying, if you're stopping me from leaving, then I want a better contract. That's what players generally do. I know that's not what you probably think of because you go, you've got contract, but you've always got to keep players happy, and if you're determined, the value of a player is determined by the bids coming in for him. And if a player knows that this bid's coming in for him, you reject them, then the player says, well, I want a bump in my contract. I know that shouldn't be the right, by the way, but that's just literally the way it is. You're giving them, you're rewarding them for literally nothing other than that other teams want them. But that's just natural. That's just football. We all accept it because we want to keep our player, and by signing a new contract, it's like we know that from next door in here. Signing that new contract is it's slightly different because he was about to walk out the door, but and we know how much turmoil it causes if players just walk out the door for nothing. Yeah, the stuff that goes on there, people calling people lizards. It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. Not acceptable.
That's the big thing.
Yeah.
Don't get called a lizard.
Yeah, being called a lizard by somebody who, by the way, hang on, let me just work this out. In his sporting field, left one club to go and move to a bigger club. Isn't that what Trent's basically doing? Isn't moving from Cage Warriors to UFC the equivalent of moving from Liverpool to Real Madrid? Isn't that the same thing? I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. Yeah, he said he hadn't been to the stadium, had he? Yeah, he basically said he hadn't had time.
Yeah, because he said last week he was going to finally go.
Well, what happens at this time of year is, because I heard him do an interview with Julia Bold on Radio Merseyside, only like a 10-minute piece. But what tends to happen is, especially when you're all right, you start like doing a lot of like nice interviews. Yeah. Sort of like the club probably have held off all year for interviews with the manager with a lot of people. I mean, not us. We won't get one. But they've probably gone, no. Now this is the right time. The next few weeks, Moyes will do more media work than he'll do anything else. Because all those people who've been promised interviews, this is the time. There'll just be a conveyor belt of because it's nice and sunny. It's there's a sunny disposition everywhere, isn't it? Yeah. Everton are safe. Yeah, people can go, the stadium. Like he said, he hadn't been to the stadium, but he's going to try and go next week. Mm. And there's a lot of that. There'll be a lot of those nice interviews. Planning for this. Can you start planning for the summer? Can you start planning for the summer? You know, I know we've got a tough run, but it's not really on us. It's on the other teams to lose as well. And if they do, then it should only be a couple of weeks. And
it's just a nice sort of vibe around there.
Exactly,
right now,
it is. It's like and even though we've got like 6 weeks of the season left, and because of Goodison, there is a nice, because we're leaving Goodison, there is a nice like vibe, and everyone's like ready to be refreshed, and it just feels like. And that's the thing, Everton will be doing those really. And you know, if there's any projects, if there's anything he can do with Everton and the community, if there's anything he can do with anyone for him to get out and about and start shaking hands almost like a politician.
Didn't he do that the last game? He met all them people at the church.
That was in the week, wasn't it? That was in the Winslow for TNT, yeah. So it's stuff like that. Yeah. He'll start doing more and more sort of bits and bobs to get him out amongst people and meeting the fans and going down to the stadium. Everton have got a brilliant opportunity because obviously since when he came in, he's come in and he's been hard at work since day one. So this is the time. It's like he gets an opportunity now to let the job's done. Gets an opportunity to go out and see a few people, meet a few people and all that kind of thing. That's what will be happening in the next few weeks. So so I imagine he'll go to the stadium, and I imagine Everton will make a big, obviously, you don't, see the other thing about that is that's a PR exercise as well. So you don't want to go too early. You don't want to go, you want to make sure, like I can understand when he's saying we want to be mathematically safe, because the other side of that is as well, you want to go down there and be able to confidently say, this is our new home in the Premier League next season, and make a big thing of it with the media, with David Moyes, maybe Seamus, you know, that, because I actually heard him say yesterday he wants to keep Seamus. Oh. He actually said that in the interview, Julia. He said he wants to keep Seamus next season. So
that's interesting.
Yeah. So he actually said, put that in the news. He actually said he wants to keep him. So he said he's great for the place and he still thinks he's got something to offer. So we'll wait and see what Seamus thinks of that. But as I said, like the press conference was just there was no massive insights in it. The massive insight is, can Everton start giving the journalists microphones consistently, or putting microphones in the ceiling so that we can hear the journalists? Because I listened to it in the car on the way here and I couldn't hear anything the journalist asked. I could hear Moyes, I just couldn't hear the journalists.
Do you think we've seen the end of Calvert-Lewin at Everton though? Sort of by what he was saying in the press conference?
The other rumour today is Newcastle are back in for him, isn't it? Which listen, we know he's going for free, and loads of people are like, good, let him go. So you can't start getting. See, this is the flip side. If you've decided in your mind that you don't want to play it and he's going for free, you can't start getting arsey about where he's going.
Yeah.
I don't think anyway. People can do what they want, but I don't think you can anyway.
But you can also, in the same breath, you can be frustrated that he's going to Newcastle.
Can you?
You can be annoyed, yeah. Because ideally, you don't want your player who's like made his reputation, been at the club for years, to go to a rival club.
I didn't hound him out. I didn't.
I handed them out.
Well, you know,
You didn't want to sign
you
before
come
he
on
even got
here,
his job.
you throw your Schmitty shouts around. You've handed them out.
So would you start Schmitty over Calvert-Lewin now? If he agrees to go to Newcastle?
That's not on the table, is it?
But if that was we
We don't know he's going to. Would you?
No, I know, but
If you, right, this is the thing, right? This is the thing with free transfers, right? Any free transfer, and I was having like an argument with a Liverpool fan about this last night over the Trent thing. It wasn't an argument, I was just putting them right. Is that you can't make footballers sign contracts. You just can't. And it doesn't matter who it is. You can't make them sign contracts. But the flip side of that is, you can bring, I said this a couple of weeks ago, you can't complain when you if you bring a player in or two on free transfers and then players leave you on free transfers. It's disappointing to see anyone leave on a free transfer because, number one, because we haven't got money for them. But no one's crying over Michael Keane, are they?
No.
Michael Keane should never have got this contract. And yet Everton give him this contract and he's been able to he's run this contract down. Now, I probably believe Michael Keane would stay at Everton. Well, he would stay at Everton, wouldn't he? He's probably desperately hoping that Everton go, do you want a 1 year? But they won't, because they'll go, it's done. The core will want to stay, and Everton will want it. But Everton is like, no, this is time to go. But it's not that thing of like, see, with the core, it's really interesting because we've got, I believe personally, that we've got every penny out of the core.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because you know in the old days, right? No, but like, no, in the old days before Bosman came in, right? And that's just why Bosman came in.
Yeah.
So you understand why Bosman came in?
Yeah, isn't it? But it's where you can't sign someone like 6 months ahead, sort of.
No, that's not why Bosman came. So
no, but that's what the rule is, isn't it?
No, but that's not why the Bosman rule came in. So the Bosman rule came in, right? Because when you got to the end of your contract, right, a football club you didn't leave a football club for free. You basically were still their property, even though you didn't have a contract with them. And what happened was the guy, whose name was Bosman, he was trying to leave his club and they wouldn't let him. And he basically lost the last few years of his contract because the club that his contract went out with wouldn't let him go to this other club. And he was stuck in limbo. So that's why the Bosman rule came in, because it was because it went against the law, basically. So, but what used to happen was, say a player like Neville Southall, right? When he got to the end of his time, football clubs used to grant players who'd given long service free transfers. It was like a thank you. It was like a golden handshake of saying, you've done really well for us. We're not going to stop. We're not going to get in the way of you leaving.
Maybe get more money for it.
So we're going to grant you we don't want money for you because you have give us everything. So here's a free transfer. Go and do whatever you want. And that used to be gold. And that's the bad thing was, it was European law though. That's the crazy thing about it. It's actually law. So there is this thing of like, you can get value out of players, all the value. And this is my argument about them complaining about like Trent Alexander-Arnold is, you've had all your value because you got him for nothing. And I think that's the same for like anyone who leaves for free, who's come through. But it's the same for like loads of players. And I think someone like Decore, for me, has given value. And we're not moaning.
Yeah, I get your point, but I also think the value is also sort of the value that it would be to replace him as well. So Trent going on a free.
Yeah,
they've got value out of him because he's free, but now how much are they going to have to pay to replace him that he is going on a free that they could have got money for if he sold them?
No, of course, I take your point. Like, but that's not typically, it's not, you don't normally sell a player to buy a player though either, do you? As such. That's not normally what really happens. It's never really been the case. It's only been the case, it only seems the case in the last few years where people have started getting really arsey about sell-on values. Do you know what I mean? What's a sell-on value? When you buy a player, he'll have a great sell-on value. Well, like, why are we thinking of selling him? So, I think someone like Decore is definitely, when you and Keane to a point, even though Keane should never have got this contract. Some players leave on a free and it's a shaking of the hands. But I get your point on Dom. But I just think no player can be coerced into signing a new contract. If they don't want to sign a new contract, they never sign a new contract. And by the way, that happens in other sports as well. I remember, like, it happens in NBA, doesn't it? It's a big thing. I remember in NBA, there was a big thing a few years ago about 3 of the biggest players in the country letting their contracts run down so that they could all go and play for the Miami Heat. LeBron was one of them, and it was like this thing. It was like this this thing should never be allowed to happen. And these 3 players purposely become free transfers so they could all go and play together and make Miami Heat amazing for like a couple of years. It happens it happens. So it's not nice, and we don't like it, and we feel like we've lost something when a player walks out the door, especially if they haven't done nothing during their time.
Yeah.
But it is really difficult, and ultimately, it's on the club, isn't it, as well, to decide 2 years. Like Trent Alexander-Arnold, I don't keep mentioning him, but he could have been. Real Madrid came in for him in January, and they decided not to sell him, so that he could help them win the league this year. So winning the league was more valuable.
But isn't it different with Everton, with Calvert-Lewin, because Everton did decide to sell him?
No, well, they did.
The reports was that it was all at Newcastle.
They did. But also, Kevin Felwell said to me and Baz that not selling him, there was more value in him to Everton playing this season than there was getting 15 million for him. That's what he told me and Baz.
Yeah.
So they decided that him playing for Everton this season, scoring goals, helping Everton stay in the Premier League, was more valuable. There is words, not mine.
Yeah, I know, but once you've agreed and he hasn't went, and then you sort of look stupid, you can sort of say that, can't you? Yeah.
No, but there's definitely that though, isn't it? If you had a boss player, let's say, and he was in the final year of his contract, and someone come in and went, and you knew he was going to score, let's say he was going to score 15 to 20 goals, and those 15 to 20 goals were going to... What's the difference between 15 and 20 goals in the Premier League if you've got a Premier League striker? I'd argue without Chris Woods' goals this year for Forest, Forest would not be in the position they're in. What's that in terms of money?
I think it was, if Liverpool didn't have Salah, they'd be like 4th now or something.
Yeah.
And that's like 20 odd goals, isn't it?
So imagine Chris Wood, right? Chris Wood, let's just say, because he was down to his last year, this was his last year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And he did sign it. But imagine they're sitting there going, well, we'll let you go for 10 million. I think Chris Wood's goals this year could make Nottingham Forest 100 million with getting in the Champions League. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? You've got to make... That's the risk, isn't it? That's the risk sometimes. So it is a really difficult one. But you can never make a footballer sign a contract.
But you can be disappointed that he's going to Newcastle.
Of course you can. Yeah. Of course you can. Of course you can be disappointed.
I think that's what people mainly say.
No, you can. But I'm just like... Once he leaves Everton, he leaves Everton for me. Yeah. That's it. I'm disappointed that any player, if we like them and we feel like they've got value, leaves Everton. Where they go next is... whatever it is, isn't it? Whatever it is. It's just you'd rather he went abroad, wouldn't you? You'd rather he went to Italy, and he still very much might.
Yeah.
You know,
I think he'll do well for Newcastle as well.
Yeah, I do. I think he'll do well for anyone he plays for.
No, I know, but just when you watch Newcastle, they get so many balls into like the 6-yard box, like tapping and stuff, and I feel like that sort of was his strength when we had Ancelotti, weren't it? It's just in that 6-yard box getting headers and.
Well, when he had someone off him, when he had Richarlison off him, it really suited his game. But that's what happens, isn't it? That's what happens. Lindstrom, obviously, he's going to be out for the rest of the season. That's one of them where you just go, I don't know about you, I just heard it and just went, oh well.
Yeah.
It's hard, isn't it? It's hard to, he's not like, if it was in Jai, obviously you'd be devastated.
Yeah.
But
it's one of them things where when he's playing, you can see that he's talented, but it's just not working.
No, it's not.
And that was like the frustrating bit. And like every game you go into, you go, oh, maybe he'd get his goal, and then he'd turn into like this great player that we think he could become. But he never really got that opportunity. Yeah. And when he came out of the team, as you said, it's not like an Ndiaye where you're like, oh, I'm gutted. So It's not like the biggest.
No.
It's not the end of the world, and I think saying goodbye to him and Harrison.
It means Jack Harrison's got to play. Sorry, I just have to stop you for 1 second because Anthony just sent a message. Oh, sorry, he just put a comment in, and because of where the laptop is and the light on my eyes, I thought it said, "Hi guys, currently listening from Kong Island." He's actually in Koh Rong Island. He said, usually in my van around Liverpool.
Cambodia. Well,
but he said, let go. We all need to shake hands and move on. No, absolutely right, mate. Yeah. But I was just for 1 minute like really worried that you were on Kong Island because that's not the place to be. That's not the place to be. Have you seen Kong Island?
Yeah,
it's boss, isn't it? You watched all the Godzilla films?
No.
I haven't watched the last one, but the show on Apple's really good. You know
about Godzilla or
about the whole thing, like about the whole
like universe.
Yeah, it's really good. You know, and it's boss because they have Kurt Russell and his son playing the same role but in different times. It's boss. Kurt Russell's son's playing him in the 60s, and then obviously Kurt Russell's playing him in the modern age. It's boss the way they've done it. It's a really good show. But I wouldn't want to be Kong Island, even though Kong's sound though. But it's those things that come. No, not for me.
The big spiders.
Yeah, they were horrible. Yeah, listen, it's disappointing for Lindstrom, and you're right. He is a talented footballer, but it's just something just not clicking, and he needs to play in the number 10 role. And if you were going to bring him back, I'd seriously want him to play in a role like that. But like we had that conversation yesterday about like how many number 10s can you have, and that would be okay. Njai will want to play number 10. Dwight McNeil, I think can only play number 10, and then you'd have Lindstrom. So okay, and then it's Carlos Alcaraz. So there's 3 plus Lindstrom for one position. But what I would say about that is the fact that they can play other positions.
Yeah.
It's something like Moyes likes, but I don't think he'd still want 4.
Yeah, it's you'd rather like use the loan for just an out-and-out winger, wouldn't you? Like if you're losing both Jack Harrison and Lindstrom, just get someone who can play that position entirely, rather than getting people like forcing them out wide. And I think as much as I know everyone wanted it to work and people were saying we should buy him permanently, it just doesn't really work, does it?
Emma says, "Did you take the repost down?"
No.
Baz was not happy, was he?
No.
Emery wasn't happy. He was told to take it down as well. Leave it up.
It's gone now.
What?
You switched on that he was really unhappy?
No, leave it up.
No, I can't repost it.
He won't notice. He only knew because we told him. Put it back up.
Okay. I've got to repost it. That's even worse now.
He done it. He won't know. He's not watching this.
I know
he doesn't watch shows. He's not on. I don't even know where is he.
Wales.
No, is he? I don't even know. No one tells me anything. Literally, I have to hear like on the grapevine. No one tells me anything, Jim. I am like.
He's not here Monday either. You know that, and potentially Tuesday.
See, I didn't know that. I literally didn't know. I don't get told anything by anybody. Like, I had no idea. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so is he here on Monday?
I think it's just me and you. I don't know if John's coming in.
I thought John was on holiday.
Maybe John's not here either.
Thanks for someone telling me that.
It's in the calendar.
The calendar? I hate that. It's in the calendar. I don't look at the calendar.
I don't look at it either.
Why would I look at the calendar? Anyway. Simon says Big Nev summed up the current playing squad well recently when he was in the interview by Charlie Baker. TFG have a chance to make to put the mistakes of the past of the ownership right.
Get neither of me.
How weird's that? How weird's that? That Baz has literally just messaged like he's watching.
He hasn't missed. It's just be to you.
No, he hasn't. Oh no, he's put it on another group that you're not in.
Oh,
I haven't told you. Yeah,
I told you though.
You did. You did. You know more than me, mate. You know more than me. I am just like I just float around this place. I just come in, sit down, do shows, and go home. I'm not.
Yeah, the boat not here on Monday or Tuesday.
It's great, isn't it? I wouldn't mind if I was told.
Yeah.
Well, I'm having next Friday off.
I can have.
We're all off next Friday.
Why?
Because it's Good Friday.
Oh, is it a bank holiday?
We don't come in Good Friday.
I don't even know what Good Friday is.
You don't know what. Don't say that to Baz.
I was in it. I went to a Christian primary school as well.
We all went to Christian primary schools. Can't get away from bloody Christian primary schools.
Oh, man was at a big.
You mean Catholic?
No, yeah, whatever. We used to have to go to a church and that.
Have you been confirmed?
Yeah.
I haven't even been christened.
I've been christened, confirmed, and everything.
No, christened everyone. I must be the only lad in Liverpool who's not been christened. Everyone in Liverpool.
Because you can have a party.
Everyone in Liverpool. I mean, anyone who's watched that show, the city is ours. House of Bamboo. Everyone that's what Liverpool Scouts christening. Everyone gets christening because it just becomes a massive piss up on a Sunday afternoon. So I am the only person in Liverpool who hasn't been christened. So thanks.
Christian communion confirmed.
No, I wouldn't. I'm not. We're not Catholic, and I'm so happy we're not Catholic. But I am literally nothing. I am literally like I don't even have to pretend. I am nothing. I am not welcome. There you go. But Baz literally just messaged me and said, ask me something about Monday, but it's not for the final word, it's for the live. So Danny, how can you have not been christened? Your name is Danny Church. How could you have not been christened? No, SB, never getting christened. Religion just leads to not... I don't believe in organised religion. It just leads to quite literal murder. I don't believe in it.
It's taking a dark turn.
No. That's my... I don't believe in dark turns, mate. Fucking hell, mate. Go and talk to some of these religions if you want dark turns. They've all got dark turns.
This is a touchy subject and we should move on from it.
No, I'm not interested. I'm not bothered. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me whatsoever. I didn't say any particular religion. I said all religions.
Yeah.
All organised religions just lead to...
Do you watch that film Heretic?
Heretic, no.
That was about religion. That was a good film.
There's lots of films about religion.
No,
Thanks, Niall.
It only came out recently. It was good.
Oh, Heretic, no. I want to see... I want to see the other one. We've got on... James, you've just brought us onto films and this is not good. We're going to leave films as quick as we can.
No, but it was just... It was relating to religion.
Okay. No, I want to watch the other one. I want to watch... I want to watch the other one. What's it called? The one about the Vatican.
Oh, I know what you're on about.
Oh, what's it called? Can't remember. The thing they do when the
Conclave.
Conclave, I want to watch that. The mad thing is, I remember a priest once saying to me, because I've been the Vatican, I've been to like Notre Dame, I've been to Sacré-Cœur, I've been to Thingo in London. What's it called? The big one is the big one in London. And this vicar, this priest was talking about the Da Vinci Code. And I was like, "Have you watched it?" And he was like, "Yeah." And he went, "Oh, it was some like it was fun nonsense." And I went, "How do you know it was nonsense?" And I was like, I couldn't believe how much he believed in God. But anyway, and he just went to me for somebody, not St. Paul's, the other one, the Abbey. What's the Abbey called? He went for someone who doesn't believe in religion. You've been to an awful lot of churches.
Churches are cool, though.
Some churches are cool.
Yeah. Like
the Vatican, I felt it was very cold and like a money making operation.
Like literally cold.
Like cold, like it feels cold. Yeah. And there was no, I didn't feel any Westminster Abbey. I didn't feel any sort of thing. But when I went to Sacré-Cœur, it feels a little more homely. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And of course, I've been to both cathedrals in Liverpool, and you know that's fine. That's fine. That's it. That's the. You know, people do what you do. I just look around the world and just see what religion's done to the world, and yeah. You've all watched Spotlight. You know what I'm talking about. You watched Spotlight?
Nope.
Tremendous film, mate. Tremendous film. Do you want to know what it's about?
Spotlights.
It's about the Catholic Church in Boston.
What? Is the shocking in Boston?
Hey Drake.
Oh, nice.
It's brilliant.
Not
true
nice.
Story. It's a true story.
Nice, but
it's a brilliant film. It's a true story. James says Lost Relics of the Knights Templar, a show that will make you think. I do like all that side of it. I do like the whole, like, I went to the Templar Church. I've been to, do you know what? Have you seen the Da Vinci Code or read the book?
Let me Google it because I feel like I have.
I have been to every location in the Da Vinci Code. Every location. I completed it last year when I went to the church in Edinburgh. I've completed it. I've been to every location. Quite literally. Apart from the place where the safe was, but I don't think that was a real place. But everywhere else I've been. Everywhere. St. Sulpice, the Louvre. The Louvre. That's how you got to say it. The Louvre. The park. Everywhere. Westminster Abbey. The Templars Church. The Rose Church up in Edinburgh. Been everywhere on it. Even walked on the Rose Line. There you go. The Gorge is a good film, but I don't think it's got anything to do with religion. But it is. Yes, I did, because it's really good, and you haven't watched it.
I haven't. Have you watched? We shouldn't go into film, should we?
No.
I'm asking you to watch Black Mirror.
I haven't watched Black Mirror because I finished Stingo last night. The Residence. It was on for like an hour and 20 minutes or so. And the night before I watched Daredevil. I haven't even watched 1923 finale yet. The Rosalind Church, that was it. The chapel, I went to that last year. So I've completed the Da Vinci Code. Anyway, what else did he say in the press conference?
Dwight McNeil's not fitting us to start yet.
No.
That was a big one. Michalenko's back training.
Yeah.
Do you think he comes straight back in for Patterson?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who will be playing on the wing for them? Because Hudson-Odoi plays on the left, isn't he? And Alanga's injured. So I'll have a look at the team.
It won't be... don't know.
No, because it's...
I bet you Alanga plays and I bet you Chris Wood plays.
I'd be so sad.
I haven't been to Malta, but I don't remember Malta in the Da Vinci Code. I don't remember Malta in... If you can give me a little bit...
Moreira.
If you can give me a bit of insight on that, I don't remember Malta in the Da Vinci Code. Someone just mentioned the Templars. Well, the Templars are really interesting because you know Friday the 13th.
Yeah,
but you know Friday the 13th as in a day, and it's unlucky. Well, it's unlucky because that was the day all of the Knights of the Templar got killed.
I don't know the Knights of the Templar.
No, Knights. You've not watched enough films, mate. Have you watched Indiana Jones and Last Crusade?
Yeah.
Well, you know the old fella at the end. He's a Knight of the Templar.
Yeah, so but I'm not taking in the history, but Indiana Jones.
No, but you should always take the history out of it, though. There's always real history and stuff. So the Knights Templar were like the army, like Christian army, basically, all around Europe. And according to some people, they believe that they got too big for their boots. So the Catholic Church killed them all in one go, like a one-day attack, killed them all over Europe. Because in the Da Vinci Code film, they say it's because of something. But I don't think that's strictly true. But they killed them all, and that's why Friday the 13th is supposed to be unlucky, because that's when they were all killed.
James Graham said that. He said he doesn't play in Dice Central because Decore is doing a good job. And then he was saying that coming in towards the end of the season, pre-season, he'll start playing them more centrally in like that 10 role and give him a go.
Like, this is the thing about... I know people have got a problem with Decore, right? But there is a reason why managers like Decore, and it's not because of his passing ability. It's his energy to get all around the pitch.
Yeah. And also, with Ndai, who's going to play on the left if it's not Ndai?
Well, it can only be Dwight, can't he?
Well, I don't mind that as much. But
yeah,
it's like you're sacrificing that position for that. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see pre-season though, and where he does start playing people. And where does he get? Because I feel like Ndai was sort of forced on the wing because of Dyche not playing him centrally. And
no, I think he'll get there eventually. It's almost like the Arteta route, isn't it? Where the way Arteta got there. So I think he'll get there eventually. Robbie says the film adaptation of the Da Vinci Code did feature some scenes filmed in Malta, and the footage included in the final cut was relatively limited. Yeah, but why was it in Malta? Because I've read the book. I have read the book.
I thought you said you don't like reading.
The Da Vinci Code's a boss read because it reads like you're watching a film. I've read most of Dan Brown's books, if I'm honest. And I don't remember them. I don't remember them going to Malta in the book either. So was it filmed in Malta, but it wasn't Malta? Like Malta was doubling up for something else. Was Malta doubling up for the scenes in the past? That's what it'll be, won't it? That's what it'll be. Because Malta's always used as a place they film to, but it's supposed to be like the Middle East. I tell you what was Boss. Someone's just put the Wi-Fi. I've never seen the Wi-Fi. I tell you what's a Boss film. Boss TV show, right? There was a TV show called, what was it called? Something like The Search for Hitler, right?
Yeah.
But it was all like weird. It was all about Hitler's weird stuff. It was all like weird. It was on like national
Hitler.
Yeah, it was Bosch, you know, because it was like proper. There was like proper mad mysteries in it, and how they found like this after like they found all this mad, like loads of it was properly like over-egged. Do you know what I mean? Like they go, we found this thing and this, and it was like half of it was a bit like nonsense, but they found like this. They found out all this information about like the Nazis got out of Germany and went to Argentina and all kinds. It was a Bosch show. I was properly hooked by it. They'd always leave you on a big cliffhanger. They found this village, right, in Argentina where everyone still speaks German and there's still loads of like Hitler paraphernalia around. And it's like in the jungle and like no one would speak on camera because they're still scared of like the Nazis, basically.
Yeah.
And there was like, it was like almost like it was stuck in time. Like they didn't know.
Yeah.
It was like they didn't know, but it was like they believed that that's where all the Germans fled to, and it was still like a big German town. It was Bosch. It was proper Bosch. What's the White Files? Someone tell me what the White Files is. That's a channel on YouTube. Bosch. I'll have a little look into that. But what was it called? Hunting Hitler, that I said? Did you say? Honestly, it was brilliant. Proper brilliant. So it had some mad stories in it of like, just like a lot of like the religious stuff that he was into. Obviously, you've seen that in the Indiana Jones films. Yeah. But like loads of stuff of like, there was a place in like Portugal where that's where they got away to go to Argentina, and like they found loads of like boxes of gold, but they were gold teeth taken from like the Jewish people. Wow. It's like, and that's where they got in the submarines in Portugal. Submarines that took them to Argentina. Proper mad show. Proper mad show. So yeah, so a couple of rumours doing around today, just while we're on it. So is that what it's called? San Carlos the the Robert Carlyle Hitler show is really good. It's very, you never see it anywhere. You never see that anywhere. It's a really good show. He has a talking fish. Interesting. So yeah, we've talked about Dom possibly going to Newcastle. What are you sniggering at?
He has a talking fish.
Yeah.
And then you try and go back to Everton.
Yeah, that's how
Calvert-Lewin's got a talking fish.
Calvert-Lewin's got a talking fish. So obviously Calvert-Lewin, that rumour's done the round. But the other rumour doing the round today is that the Southampton game is going to be on the Sunday at 7:00. I got messages this morning saying that's when it's going to be. So whether it was always going to be that, or whether the Monday night was floated to gauge public reaction, or Everton have tricked us all by leaking it so that a Sunday at 7:00 doesn't seem so bad, I don't know. But I would much rather have I'd much rather have 6:00 on a Sunday.
Than 7.
Much rather have 6:00 on a Sunday. But if it's 7:00, it's 7:00. That'd be finished by 9, and all the festivities will be done by 10:30. Yeah, I mean it'd be better the week after, because the week after would be a bank holiday, wouldn't it? But Everton decided to give up. I mean, it wouldn't be a 6:00 kickoff on the Sunday if it was the week after. But we don't get a bank holiday. But that Monday will soon become a bank holiday, maybe, for a lot of people.
Is it? It'd be a good mix as well, that you go in and it's like the sunset, and then you will get like the Goodison lights and stuff.
The sun setting on Goodison,
and then you have the lights of Goodison for the last time. Then it goes. It's a nice little end to it, I think. But you're right, it would be a nice bit earlier. It's better than Monday, isn't it?
anything's better than Monday. Football should not be played on a Monday ever. The Germans won't allow Monday night football. The fans just said no, it's never happening. It's never happening. The Wi-Fi's got 4.66 million subscribers. It's mad when you just some things you've never heard of and they're huge. Do you know what I mean?
Have you ever just went on like the top YouTube ones and there's some massive ones from like America that we've never even heard of?
I love this one. There's one that says alien agenda and then there's a picture of an alien, but like the alien's dead fit. Look, like if that was an alien, that's like a dead fit alien, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? And she's got a flavoured let's leave that.
No context, that's
no, the problem is though, right, with some of these conspiracy theories, they go too far. Like they push it too far because there's definitely like big conspiracies out there, and then people just take them too far and they become stupid.
Do you think celebrities eat kids?
No.
And they call them pizzas?
No. But there's definitely, but I imagine something has definitely gone on in the last 50 years in large groups of rich people. But then people start saying that and people just go, it's nonsense.
But isn't that also a conspiracy theory? That American, like, the government do it on purpose to make conspiracy theories look mad, and you don't believe the other ones that are real.
Well, that's the whole point of Area 50, Area Tingo, wasn't it?
51.
51 is that they apparently put out stories of it was all aliens because they were testing, like, the next generation of aircraft, and I've been doing. So they just said it was aliens, so everyone thinks it's aliens, but it's actually not. So everyone's looking up, seeing something, going, "Wow, that's an alien spaceship," and it's not. It's the next generation of like fighter jets. But if everyone thinks they're aliens, that's better for the governments and stuff. But I do like that film. Made me laugh the other day. Baz was talking about that film, that the one that was filmed in Liverpool.
Oh yeah,
with the lad out of the lad who played Doctor Strange in not Doctor Strange. He played Reed Richards in Doctor Strange. Jack, and he played Jack Ryan. And he was like, I sat down to watch it, and then I found out it wasn't until May.
Yeah,
but that's like a conspiracy. I love that. I love that kind of conspiracy. Like it's because I was brought up on like Indiana Jones and the Goonies, and then like played like Tomb Raider and played like Uncharted. I love. We've had this conversation loads of times. Like it's like one of the things I actually hate, John Krasinski. Yeah. One of the things I actually hate about the world is like there's no mysteries left. It's like for the whole of like the 20th century, there was still loads of mysteries around the world. Yeah. Loads of places we hadn't been, loads of things to still be discovered, and it just feels like we've found everything now. Or the things we haven't found, we've like someone has found them and locked it up. Like almost like the Ark at the end of the Raiders. It's like I was brought up with like not conspiracies, but that sort of love. I love that view of history, that there's a little bit more than that they're telling us. Yeah, and like that's why Indiana Jones films have always been. I love Indiana Jones films. Even the Crystal Skull's crap, but I even still sort of like Crystal Skull.
Is that the newest one?
No,
the one wasn't great.
I didn't mind the last one.
It wasn't great.
It's a bit long in parts.
Yeah. I also just didn't like it that he was just a sad man.
It's not for you. His son had died.
No, I know, but he was just sad and by himself, and I was just like, oh, it's Indiana Jones.
That's Indiana Jones, isn't it?
I just thought I didn't like that.
I haven't played the Indiana Jones because it's not out on PlayStation till a couple of weeks, and then it's out.
Nice.
And I'm getting it. No one ever found the Arteta money. You're right, Kieran. You're absolutely right. But there's like a recent discussion, isn't this, aren't they saying stuff now about the pyramids? Isn't that the newest conspiracy?
There's always stuff about the pyramids.
Well, what they've said is that they scanned the pyramids and they found that the pyramids go down way lower.
Like big towers, yeah.
And all that. I haven't really read into it. And then also the new one, and I don't know whether this will lead to conspiracies, but they've just mapped the whole of the Titanic, haven't they? They've gone down and mapped it. And they've got like a digital copy now, a proper full-on digital copy of the Titanic. And now they can see, they know this will mean that they'll be able to know everything about it. So that'll be the next thing now. So when that comes out, you'll start Yeah. See, the reason I like conspiracies, like good conspiracies like that, is like not like stupid conspiracies, but like proper like Indiana Jones type conspiracies, is because the world's just such a dark place.
Yeah.
That I like that levity of having these things where you're like
aliens everywhere. It's Men in Black.
Maybe not Men in Black, but I like having the levity of like
I love Men in Black.
Like, do you know what I mean? I don't know. We always use things. I mean, how can you explain the pyramids? Like, how can you explain
What
that?
if they just done that?
Which?
The rocks just done that.
The rocks themselves?
Yeah.
Stood up and just walked?
No, like that was just a mountain. It just grew that way. Never thought about that?
Don't think that's true.
Do you have proof that it's not true? Yeah. There's my conspiracy. The rocks just done that.
The rock did that?
Like, they just fell into that
when he was the Scorpion King?
Yeah.
Well, it rained pyramids one day.
So like,
or there was a big
there was a big mountain.
Yeah,
they all just fell off, and they all just accidentally fell in
that can't be disputed.
No,
it can't be.
Just happened like that.
I don't know where a massive natural disaster made 3 pyramids next to each other that are perfect, and there's stuff inside them. Yeah. What about the stuff inside them? How do you account for that?
No, because that happened, and then there was loads of these people, and they're like, hey, that looks like a house, that, and then
they just went in.
Decorated.
So they're squatting.
Yeah, basically.
Fair enough. The thing about that is I can't say anything against that. Your SB, you're right. Nature doesn't do right angles, and it doesn't do straight lines.
Neither does my car.
Did you know that nature doesn't do straight lines?
Probably does though.
Doesn't. Nothing ever grows in. Nothing ever like forms in straight lines.
Yeah, but if you smash something, it can be in a straight.
But then that's not nature, is it? You smash something, that's
what
us.
If the wind blows it and then it smashes.
No, it
that's
doesn't.
Nature.
We don't do
double nature.
Like, look at a valley. Look at a valley. A valley is not a straight line. There you go. Emma's desperate. Emma, what are we watching the White Files on? Pyramids. Link us up. There looks like there's lots of videos there. You need to link us up. You need to get us involved.
We should just do a reaction.
Yeah, we'll do instant pyramid reaction. Yeah. I mean, it's not very instant, is it?
Yeah, it could be.
I'll tell you what's. We've done this thing where we've gone down a dark hole. Down the dark hole. There's a show on Netflix called No, it's not on Netflix. Is it on Netflix? No, it's on National Geo, so it's on Disney, right? It's by Neil Tyson deGrasse. Do you know him?
Yeah.
Right.
I think you got his name in the wrong order.
Neil
deGrasse Tyson.
deGrasse Neil Tyson. Whatever his name is, right? And the show's really good. It explains loads of stuff about like the world and that. And how there's a really good show of how dogs got domesticated, and they use cartoons. It's really, really, really good. But what always stuck with me about that show was he put up like a year calendar, and he put in and on the calendars where like humans.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. Like the last like 2 minutes.
It's like the last 2 minutes of December. Yeah. So this like calendar of the existence of the Earth, and we are literally Christmas Day. We appeared on like Christmas Day.
Just think about how many people had to live so we could talk to a camera about Everton.
Do you not ever? No, but you never ever think about that.
Yeah,
like,
no, that's what I mean.
Never just think like, how mad is it that you when you look at the world and you look at like the suffering of the world, that you were born in like a developed country in a developed city, and you got to be at it. Like Ricky Gervais said it, didn't he? He said like it's mad, isn't it? He said like you could have been born in any sort of but then I often think this is like when you're talking like new discoveries. You look at it now and you sort of can picture the future and what there's going to be, but you can't. But and then you think, well, there would have been a time when people would have been like, oh, look at us, we're all like peasants and we've got nothing. But when they were there, they would have thought that was the height, that was the peak. And we sitting here going, oh, look at all the boss stuff. But one day, you know, and the mad thing is, in the last 20 years,
like Jesters were peak entertainment.
Yeah, Jesters.
They're Netflix.
Yeah, Jesters were boss.
Like 10 years ago, they didn't have Jesters, and now we've got Jesters.
Yeah, but 2-3 years ago, we didn't even have AI.
I know,
it's all in our phones now. And can people stop making toys of themselves with AI?
Should I make you?
They're boring. They're boring. Everyone does it, and they go, oh, "This is me." Like they're not. Like last week, it was like Asian cartoons, and now it's like, stop it. It's boring. But anyway, I digress. Do you ever watch a film from the early 2000s and you're just like, where's all the technology?
Yeah.
Like, it's literally 20 years ago and you're like, they haven't even got smartphones.
Even with, like, watching shows from then.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like Sopranos or, like, stuff like that.
Flip phones.
Yeah, and it's like, how are they getting away with stuff? Why is there no, like, cameras just watching them? Like, you know, where, like, they just kill someone in the street and then they'll get away with it. It's like, how's that even a thing? Small stuff like that, and it's so weird.
Yeah, they've got a camera and a phone.
Yeah.
Or they've got a pager.
Yeah.
You're watching like The Wire and they've got a pager. Or Friends and they've got a pager. And it's like, it is crazy. We've got in the last, it is mad. I often think as well, I don't think this is too far-fetched. People go, you know, talk about like civilizations. It's like, we have no idea whether there was like another human civilization that got past where we are and something happened, but it was so long ago, because you can't measure it in time, can you? Because you know what I mean, that other civilization could have got well past us, but just because it happened 2 trillion years ago doesn't mean that they didn't evolve past us. We see time as in like our own time, as in like, well, how could something that have happened 2 trillion years ago be like, they could have been more sophisticated than us? But they could have, couldn't they? But then something mad could have happened, an alien war, and maybe the aliens came and wiped us out.
What if we're the monkeys in Planet of the Apes?
Yeah, exactly.
And the other fellas, they were the humans.
They were the humans. But what if like the aliens came, wiped us all out in some like intergalactic war, right? Literally destroyed us all. The Earth had to start again. There was massive time. Then like the dinosaurs, and then now and again the aliens came along and checked on us, and that's where they sorted the pyramids out. And then the aliens went back, and then someone destroyed those aliens. So, but though the aliens destroyed them, don't know about us, right? So no one's ever come back to check on us, and that's why the aliens have never been back. You ever thought about that?
Isn't it just going back to that? Dinosaurs, what is that all about?
What do you mean? What's that all about?
It's mad that they were just real.
Not really.
Again, it is big, massive, like lizard just walking around.
But you've got like crocodiles now.
I know, but they're not that. That's not a T-Rex level. A T-Rex is built like if you had to come up with an
You don't know it, but you don't know.
I know what roughly.
But this is the other thing about Jurassic Park, right? Jurassic Park's all wrong.
Yeah, because
it's all wrong.
Oh, is it meant to be that?
Velociraptors do not. Velociraptors are like the size of chickens, right?
It's even better.
T-Rexes, they're finding stuff out all about T-Rexes all the time.
Wasn't it that they have feathers?
They're feathers.
Yeah.
They were closer to birds than they were reptiles. There's loads of stuff.
Still though, still cool.
Yeah. I'm not being funny, right? If you tuned in now and you found us talking about intergalactic wars and dinosaurs, you're staying, aren't you? Why aren't we at 100,000 already? Why aren't we 100,000? I'm just saying. It's just weird the way we perceive anything, and we also perceive 2,000 years ago as like dead long ago. It wasn't. I swear to God, I've been here for I'm coming up to 46 and a half years on this planet, and it feels like it's gone that fast. Seriously.
You know what is mad? You know when I was speaking to me nan and she didn't have like a fridge in there when she was younger. What's that all about? Yeah. How can you not have a fridge or like a freezer?
Exactly.
And like now we've got AI
doing our fridges for us.
Yeah.
We've got fridges.
They order your food for you.
Yeah, we've got fridges that order our food for us now. Yes, Mark, I know about the dinosaurs and the oxygen levels. Also, there was animals in the past that were bigger because of the pressurization of the earth and stuff like that. So animals grew bigger because the air density wasn't as bad. So that we had massive like rats and shizzle and dizzle, didn't we? And spiders and all kinds, because the air pressure wasn't as intense, so they could grow bigger.
So we got here from you not remember the name of Westminster.
I'm not being funny. Someone's also put slow news day. I'm not being funny. It doesn't matter. It was the busiest news day ever. Me and James would always find our way. This is why we're starting our own podcast.
Yeah.
This is why we've got this.
Films.
Could you imagine Baz's face if he was in this room? He would not allow this to happen, and I just love it. This is all I want to talk about, honestly. This is the best thing about just having a channel, is that we've found our way that you just like us seem to be talking about anything. Like, literally no one in the comments has said, get back to talking about footy. Nobody. Anyway, right, let's get back to footy for a minute anyway. How you feel? I think you have to mix the show up, though. I do. It's Friday afternoon. We're not stressing. I think this show has to be mixed up. I can't believe it. Emma, I am so happy that you're loving today's show, and I'm happy that you've educated me on a YouTube channel that I will start watching a little bit of. Because I watch some mad YouTube channel, like not mad. Like, does anyone watch CoffeeZilla? I love CoffeeZilla. You ever watched it?
Yeah, he fell out with like Logan Paul.
So he basically gets people like who scam people and takes them to the cleaners. I love that channel.
A lot of like crypto stuff in it.
Loads of crypto. I'll tell you some of the channels I love right now, right? That I watch regularly.
Do you ever watch that one where it's the fella and it's, you know, the police recordings of them interrogating people who get done for murders, and he's like talking about like the tactics they use and stuff? That's really good.
Boss.
That's one of the best.
Right,
channels.
we'll go back to Everton in a minute, but I'm just going to tell you some of the channels I watch, right? So, New Rockstars is like one of my favourite too. So, New Rockstars is a channel dedicated to like breakdowns, trailer breakdowns, film breakdowns. Boss, Eric Voss is brilliant. What I love about Eric Voss is I actually feel like he's had like a similar trajectory to like someone like myself or Baz, where they just started doing something they love. And then New Rockstars was actually bought by a really big company. So he does it, and he has another one called The Breakdown where they do like shows like this, and that's what I listen to sometimes. They're like hour-long shows where they're just discussing stuff, and that's but the Breakdown stuff's brilliant because they just, especially if I watch a film or a TV show and it's the last one, the minute that show's over, I'm on to New Rockstars watching The Breakdown. Emergency Awesome, which is similar. New one I found is Gary's Economics, which is a fella who's loaded telling us why we're getting ripped off. I
just need to tell you how to get rich.
Because it's not about that. Screen Crush, Heavy Spoilers, Senpai, which is a decent one of you. Senpai Gaming, it tells you all about all the stuff we use. Colin Firth, anyone watch Colin Firth?
Colin Firth?
Firth. F-U-R-Z-E. Basically, this fella who's built tunnels underneath his house.
Oh, mad.
It's amazing. He's built tunnels underneath his house, like proper tunnels, though. And at the moment, he's building he's built a tunnel into now what is going to be an underground parking space outside his house. He's got a semi-detached house, right? And his car is going to rise up out of his.
That's it.
So he's got tunnels, and they lead to different rooms in his house, and then but he's got a bunker underneath his garden, which is like a games room.
That's mental.
He's boss. Honestly, he's unbelievable.
How's he allowed to do it?
Because he got planning permission. Corridor Crew, which is all about like special effects and stuff. It's really good. They do breakdowns. Yes Theory, which is a bunch of lads who just go around the world, going to places that you would never go to, and it's amazing. Really brilliant. The B1M, which is basically about this one is really nerdy. This is like going around the world looking at building projects.
Nice.
Yeah, it's weird. This other one I like, right? It's boss. It's called Kertzgeskagek, right? Yeah. And basically, it's like a cartoon. Use cartoons to explain science to you. And like stuff that's going on in the world. Really, really good. Matt Armstrong, he rebuilds cars. Men in Blazers. Tifo Football. IGN. Now, because me and Baz share the same account through Toffee TV, there's a lot of like holistic stuff where people tell Baz which seeds to eat. Honestly, there is.
Why do you share the same one?
Because we share the Toffee TV one.
Oh, yeah, because you've bought premium for it as well, haven't you?
Well, I bought premium for it.
Tell us what seeds to eat.
Yeah. First We Fast, which has hot ones on it. What else? Sam Avery, of course. Looper, that's a good account for like films and stuff. Chloe what's her name? Chloe Abram. She's really good. She does like science videos, but like really happy ones. So her last video, she went to Disney to find out how they were doing all the stuff in the theme parks. She's dead good. Where else? I'm just looking at some of the good ones. Yeah, so they're the ones I mostly watch.
Who's Adrian Mole?
Adrian Mole. It was a show. It was a book.
Someone said, "Am I an undercover Adrian Mole?"
There was the diaries. There was a book in the 80s called The Diary of Adrian Mole.
Right, but
I don't know if it's in the same context.
Or is it not about me? I don't know.
I don't know. So how are we feeling about tomorrow? Because it is a weird game, isn't it? It's a weird game because they've got loads to play for and we've got nothing to play for.
I know, but I feel like they've pretty much secured Champions League now.
Well, it's 5, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah. But that's not. Yeah, but that's not. They're not going to want to start losing games.
No, I know, but like the pressure's not on them as much as when it was 4. I think now they can sort of breathe a little bit.
I think if you're them, no, you're because you're the odd one out. You're the underdog, and I think that's if we were in their position, tomorrow's game would be so stressful. I think anyway.
But yeah, because they'll see Everton as a winnable game.
Yeah, of course they will.
But it's weird as well because what team will they put out if they are missing them 2 players? Because wasn't it the striker that
I think
Yoni or whatever?
When I hear players are not ruled out, I always think they're going to play.
I thought they have been ruled out though. What if they not? Don't say that.
Wood and Alanga?
Yeah.
I don't think they've been ruled out. I just thought he said they were doubtful.
I thought he said they were both definitely out.
Okay.
I hope so. Why? I hope I'm right.
Why have you done?
No, I haven't done anything. Just for Everton's sake.
No, I hope they do, but I always err on the side of caution. I always think if someone isn't like ruled out for weeks, I thought I heard that they were like touch and go, and if I ever heard someone touch and go, I think they're going to play.
I can just, to be honest, I just see it being a draw, like 1-1.
I can see it being 3-0 to Forest.
If
they get an early goal,
I just don't see Everton getting battered though.
I don't, but the problem is I just don't think we've got an attack.
No, I know, but I think we've got a solid enough defence that a 3-0 wouldn't happen anymore.
Yeah. No, I can imagine if they get it. I'm worried if they get an early goal that they'll be quite relentless going at us. I just don't think we've got a good enough attack away from home. This is gonna be. But it's one game. It's a game that I just don't fancy. And I know
to see a draw.
I know I should be sitting here going, oh, we're going to. I just think their home record's so good though, and defensively they're so good that I just worry if they get an early goal, we're in trouble.
Yeah,
we're in trouble. But again, you just said like if Alanga mightn't play and Wood mightn't play, I'm saying I'm erring on the side of caution that they might play.
Yeah,
because I just know that managers are like you know what they're like, aren't they? There you go. Who's a Klingon? Sorry, who's a Klingon and not? Hang on, he's a Klingon, not a reptilian. Who's that? Who's a Klingon? Better find it's not about me.
What?
I don't know what they're talking about. Sometimes we miss these funny jokes in the comments. James says Coffeezilla is doing God's work. He is. He exposes people who need to be exposed. Daniel says Gary's economics is sick. Tax the rich. Absolutely. Daniel says I've got the golf on. So after my last few emails and about to crack a cold tinny. Nice. Is the golf on? It's in America though. Or did he start at like 7 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, he started early.
Yeah. Augusta.
I don't know golf. I probably will watch it, but I always just try and back Tommy Fleetwood to win.
Yeah, he's not going to win. He's not going to win.
Didn't he get close last time?
He did, but loads of people get close. Rory's never even won it, and he's like one of the best, but that's why it's called the Masters.
Yeah, but he's a gold medalist or silver medalist, Tommy Fleetwood now.
No, I know, but I don't. No, you back him. Golf is a great background sport.
Yeah.
It's a great background sport, similar to like Formula 1.
Yeah, I agree.
It's
when you hear something like someone shout, then you watch. Because someone got a hole in one yesterday, didn't he, on a par 3?
Did he? Yeah.
Nah.
See, I'm not really that interested as such, but
it's fun to play as well. But I'm just not good at it.
No, it's a horrible sport to play because
no.
jumped in with 2 big feet there, didn't he? Because it takes so long to become good at it.
Yeah.
That you just feel like a dick. You go to golf courses, because I've done it myself. You go to golf courses and you're rubbish, and there's people around you and they might be rubbish, and they come up behind you and it feels like a game that you should be playing in the middle of the night so that there's nobody else around.
Yeah.
But it takes so long to get good at it. And it's not a natural sport where you go, when you learn how to play footy or whatever, you're just playing footy in the street and you're learning naturally by kicking stuff. Where golf is like, you've got to go to a golf course and you've got to make a massive commitment knowing that you're going to be terrible for a long time and you might never get good at it.
Yeah, and it's expensive.
Yeah.
But for just a sport, just walking around a nice field in the sun.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh, I get all that, mate. I 100% get all that. Fully get all that. Let's Be Having You says, been playing the Masters on PS. It's easy to get the platinum trophy. Do you know what? I used to like golf games as well, and you know it's weird. Sometimes you like stuff and you just forget you like it.
Yeah, I got the new one, not the newest one, but the last one, and I just couldn't putt, so I just never played it again. I played like for a few hours, and I was trying my best to putt, and no matter what I'd done, so it was too stressful.
Yeah.
I felt like I was playing actual golf.
Yeah. Let's have a look at some of your comments. Gary Woods says howdy, of course he does, because he's the man. Ian the Blue says afternoon. He is hoping we can get a nice win tomorrow against them. Hopefully they're without Woods and Alanga. According to Nuno, they're both doubtful. See, they're both doubtful. I always think. AJ No says, can someone please put the Southampton time and date to bed? And they are now purely taking the actual piss. No, I agree, mate, but the latest rumour is 7 o'clock on the Sunday. But you're right, mate, it needs sorting. It's so disrespectful, I think, to fans for such a big occasion. Do you know what I mean? Like, even if the other games haven't been sorted, sort this one out.
Yeah. It's such a big game that for no conversation, people just constantly talking about it.
And if it is at 7 o'clock, then that feels like they've gone, right, that's the game we're going to focus on at night, but we'll worry about all the other ones later. Like, 7 o'clock on the Sunday should have been agreed to ages ago.
Yeah.
Because it's on its own. It's not even the main. They've gone, right, we're going to put it on this slot because it's a
bit event.
It's an event, and because there's no games on the Saturday, there'll probably be 4 games. So we'll go, right. We don't even have to. They haven't have to worry about who's winning the league for ages. Liverpool will have already won it by then. They face Arsenal at home. Yeah. So even if it's not done by when they face Arsenal, they'll win the league. Sorry, Baz just sent me a very interesting message. You've got it as well. Just read that message. Not going to say any more.
Ooh.
Just that last line.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like what's the connotation of that though? Nice. Can't say it. It's can't say.
What does that mean?
Yeah, exactly. What does that mean? What does that mean? Oh no. I have no idea what we were talking about then. What were we talking about? Yeah, like the other games. Like, okay, you could have every game that had something to do with Europe in. But honest to God, come on. You know you're putting Everton on live. You could put any game on the Monday night.
Yeah.
So why wasn't this sorted ages ago? 7 o'clock, your half-4's finished. And we're going over to Goodison Park. Yeah. Last game, 7 o'clock kickoff, and we're staying with Everton till the end of the game. There's nothing else to talk about, is there? The relegation sorted. The Premier League sorted. So what we're talking about then is the Champions League. And Arsenal have got one. Okay, so
they'd probably be sorted.
Let's say there's 4 teams. But you're not showing all 4 games, are you? But you're not showing all 4 games. Yeah, let's find out who's playing who on that weekend. Let's find out. Right. So we've got Arsenal versus Newcastle, right? So that'll be on telly, I imagine, maybe. That's your 12 o'clock game, right? Villa versus Tottenham, right? City versus Bournemouth. Yeah, can see that being on. That's your 2 o'clock kickoff. Although actually City Bournemouth mightn't play that day, might they? Because if City get to the cup final, and Bournemouth get to the cup, Bournemouth are out, sorry. City get to the cup final, then that's not getting played. So scratch that. That doesn't need to be there. Forest versus West Ham. Well, Forest could get to the cup final, so that could be scratched. Who else is in the semis? Chelsea, Palace versus Wolves. That's a nothing game. No one's watching that, so that doesn't matter. Brighton, Liverpool. That'll be the Monday night one. Send Liverpool down to Brighton on a Monday night.
Yeah.
Brentford, Fulham. No one's watching that. Villa, Tottenham. Villa could be in the cup
final. Yeah.
Villa could be in the cup final. Yeah, it's a load of me ass. It's a load of nonsense. That's all I'm saying. Let's be Av says, Moyes seems keen on Linsom. Do you think we'll look at him another loan? Yeah, I think we'll look for another loan. I do.
For Lindstrom?
Yeah, because he's an international loan, isn't he? So you can have as many as you want.
Yeah.
No, but what I'm saying is if he likes him,
yeah, I get you.
we can have another loan, can't we? If he's not paying money for him at this stage. Not a chance. Adam says, I can picture Dicey sat at home watching the game Saturday on a Jag stream with the 89-90 Forest top on. It wouldn't surprise me if he was at the game. It would not surprise me if he was at the game. The big Forest lover. Brian Ball says, love the content, lads. Yes, Brian, thank you. Sometimes I get worried that people maybe are watching our stuff and are like, what? I can't imagine there's any other Everton podcast that halfway talking about the game starts getting into conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
I just can't see it. And I blame James squarely for that.
Me?
You brought it up.
Did I?
You started taking us down the dark road.
I don't remember it, but
no.
It might have been me.
Let's be honest, don't know if this has been mentioned, but has anyone seen the TNT show with Big Nev and Sam Avery? Nev did no back, as you would expect, but I felt Sam's pain when he didn't seem on board with the Moyes Revolution 2.0. Can't really blame Nev pessimism. Haven't seen the decline of the club for the past 30 years, though, to be fair. I haven't watched the videos, but I know there's a couple on there. Nev's Nev, isn't he?
I've seen the clip where Neville Southall was saying we shouldn't even be worried about Ipswich and stuff.
No, he's right.
And like we stooped down to that level.
Yeah, he's right. I've seen that, what he said. He said Everton fans are happy because he said that's where we're happy because we haven't been, there's three worst teams in them. And he's absolutely right. But that's where we've been placed in the last few years, haven't we? And it is. And to be fair, I was listening to Moyes today, and Moyes was like, when he was asked, he was like, it wasn't even like a consideration. It was like, we're going to get back. Yeah. It wasn't like we're trying. It was like, we're going to get back. Yeah. There's like never a doubt in his mind.
Like when we get back rather than...
Yeah, it was like when we get back rather than if we get back. Gary Wood says, this is an awesome show. Thank you, Gary. Paul says, my son has never been christened. He's 36 now and no intentions to be christened. I've got no intentions to be christened, mate. I don't see the point in it. I just don't see the point. It's low. It's... If that's what people are into, that's what people are into. I am not into it, and I am not going to suddenly go, I need to do this thing. Brian Ball says, someone started a conspiracy theory that Toffee TV talk about Everton. I like to think that we have talked about Everton, and we've just sort of punctuated that Everton talk with a little bit of conspiracy theory talk. Do you know what I mean? It's not... And I think it's been organic.
Yesterday as well, we had a whole live show and we didn't mention anything. We just spoke about Everton the old time.
Exactly.
So, you know what? We're growing.
Are we growing?
We're growing.
Fair play. He says, don't you have to be christened to be married? Or do you have to be, or to be a godfather to a child? Right. Well, let's throw those two in the bin. I was married in... basically city walks in America whilst the Hulk ride rushed past. Could they hear the Hulk ride in the behind us?
What city walks?
City Walks is the space between the two Universal parks in Orlando.
You got married there?
Yeah.
Why?
The question is why.
Was it a proper wedding, or was it like, you know, if you go to like Vegas and just get married?
What do you mean, proper wedding?
Like, was it a ceremony in there?
Of course it was.
So it was a proper wedding?
Of course it was proper. What do you mean it was a proper?
Oh, like your family and that went? Or
Yeah.
Just, yeah. No, but in the middle of Universal doesn't sound like a serious wedding.
Doesn't
Like, it sounds like, I mean, I've never been to Universal, but it sounds like, you know, people say we went to Vegas and we just got married in a
But
casino.
why isn't that serious? You still get married.
No, I know, but it's not like you're in a church.
But why is being in a church? Right, hang on.
I don't know.
Hang on, right. I am not religious, so why would I get married in a church? See, that's not a question for you to ask. Answer, sorry.
Seems a bit of a deep question.
Right. But I do not understand people who get married in a church who are not religious. It's just conforming to somebody else's thing. Right? The same way I won't when I die, I won't go into a church. Why would I'm not religious. There's no religious bone in my body. So why would I go out in a church, and why would I get married in a church? I am not.
Viking burial. I'm pushing into the water.
Oh, well, mate, that would be like in Thor.
Yeah.
Just put me on that boat, mate, and send me off to space. That's how I want to go. That's why I want to. That's the way I want to go. And also, I am the godfather. I am a godfather as well to three kids.
You're the godfather.
I am the godfather to 3 kids as well. But you do that because someone asks you to do it, and it's not a religious thing. But I simply don't believe in organised religion. I believe, right, without getting all kinds of conspiracy theory or upsetting anyone, people should have things that make them feel good and comfort them and all that kind of thing. And I understand the solace that people take in religion. My sister, when she got a brain tumour, took solace in going to the cathedral, but she's not religious. But she found comfort in being at that place, but she's not religious.
Yeah.
But she found comfort in it. And I know loads of people are like that, but I can't get behind organised religion when I look at the state of the world, when I see when I see rules that are given to people by those churches, and I'm not being all like a knobhead here or anything, but when I see there's rules that say you can and can't do things, and they are, or this thing won't happen, just be a good person. Be a good person and don't upset other people. I know that might strike me out. So, honestly, I don't believe in any of it. I believe in being a good person, honestly. So, if you do it, no issues. I've got no issues. I just don't. And I just see the state of the world and just think to myself, half of the stuff that goes on in the world is because this person believes in that thing and this person believes in that thing. And half of it is all based on the same thing anyway. Is all based on the same thing anyway. That's the mad thing to me, is that it's all based on the same thing. All the religious holidays are all around the same time. All of them are all around the same time. Christmas was moved from September, the birth of Christ was moved from September to December to coincide with the pagans' winter festival. Do you know what I mean? It's like, so there you go. But if you're not hating anybody else, crack on. If you're not upsetting anyone else, crack on. I'm all day for people to do whatever they want, as long as they're not hating other people. That's the most important thing. I'd say I'm agnostic more than anything else. I'm agnostic, and I think that's a good place to be. I'm not going to say which is my favourite and which is me. Religions are all the same. It's just, Sean, stop saying that nonsense, please, because it just, no one cares. No one cares. No, it's not nonsense to you, obviously, but no one cares, honestly, mate. The stuff that's going on in America at the moment, and all this, like, they're doing it for this reason. Mate, that doesn't put food on people's tables, does it? Stuff that happened in America now, Jesus would be ashamed of it. My soul isn't at risk.
Stop talking.
No.
It gets too much.
No, I'm not getting too much. My soul isn't at risk because I'm a good person. So my soul isn't at risk, honestly. My soul's fine because I'm a good person. But if that's what you believe, then honestly, crack on with it. But don't force it on other people. That's the other thing. Forcing it on other people is like the worst thing. Or looking down on people, or blaming people because they're a different religion than you are, or saying they're the problem because they're a different religion. I just don't believe in it. I just don't believe that personally. I just don't believe that. I believe that we've all been put here and we've all got the same struggles, and some of us have got lesser struggles because of where we've been born. And we see people who come from terrible places come to where we want to live and see what we have, and then we blame them for them living in terrible places. So just crack on, be nice to each other, and that's it. That's it, isn't it? That's all it's about, just being nice to each other. There's people who are out there who are not religious who are probably amazing people, and there's people out there who are mega religious who are terrible people, and that's just be nice to each other. That's all I would say.
Would you start at a Boonham?
No, I wouldn't. Sean, I'm sorry, mate. I'm just going to have to bin you, mate, because I just can't be doing with preachy people. I can't like that. I know I probably sound preachy, but I can't be doing with that nonsense, mate. Just can't be doing with it. Doesn't matter what religion it is, mate. I can't be doing with people who try and push their agenda onto other people like that, unless it's me talking about Dwight McNeil.
So you wouldn't start Dwight McNeil?
No, he's not fit, is he? He's not fit.
Why would you not start Boonham?
Because I just think he gives the ball away too much.
Yeah.
I think he gives the ball away too much, and I think in away games, I think you need players who understand. I think you need players who understand the concept of holding space and cutting out passing lanes and stuff like that. I don't think Tim Boonham's at that level. I don't think he should be playing deeper.
No. He seems like someone who's want to be more progressive. When he gets it, he runs with it, doesn't he? I do think he's good at dribbling and stuff.
I think he's someone who should be playing high up the pitch. I said this the other day, I think he gets the ball and I think he sees what's ahead of him, but he doesn't see the first person. So it's like he gets his head up and he's like, where am I going to pass it? And he doesn't see that person right next to him who's going to knock it off him. And I think there'll be a time when I think he'll. I think home games are suited more for him. But again, the problem is with Boonham is we were talking before about number 10s or number 8s. I think he's a number 8. So can you play those number 10s and those number 8s and all that? Do you know what I mean? It's. But I don't think he'll play tomorrow. But he might play. He might play against City. I'm not sure.
Because it was weird when because James Garner had a bad game and obviously got out, but do you see him being sort of that, like, I don't know, it's like passing stuff. Do you think it'd be more key than what Boonham would bring? Because that, I don't know, against Liverpool he just didn't look great, James Garner.
No, he didn't, but what I would say about him is, and I said that night he didn't play well, is that that was against a very competitive Liverpool midfield. And listen, James Garner isn't the greatest player in the world anyway, but I think he's got a better understanding of the whole picture. Whereas I think Tim Boonham is still very raw. The manager might play him tomorrow. He might say, no, he needs another game, and then he needs another game. Yeah. He said in the press conference, didn't he, that he wanted to see him. He wanted to see him play. I think we'll have a lot less of the ball again tomorrow, and I don't think that suits Tim Boonham.
Is it Forrest's thing though where they have loads of the ball?
No, but I think they will have loads of the ball tomorrow, because I don't think we're going to have loads of the ball.
Yeah.
So, it might be 50-50. See, what I think tomorrow is, I think he might look at experimenting in other areas of the pitch.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think he said he wanted to give Patterson a game, but I think Patterson will come out of the team because Michalenko's back. But I think he might look to experiment in other areas of the pitch. And that might mean that you might want to look at other players, and that might mean that Irbuna comes out. But Irbuna might play. Who knows?
Did you know that Everton have the worst average possession in the league?
I thought it was Forest.
No, Forest are 19th and we're 20th. Forest's average possession... Oh, wait, it's the exact same. 39.6, but Everton are lower. Isn't that mental? So we're both going to be trying to give the ball to each other.
Well, that's what we said in the home game, didn't we? We were saying that in the home game of like
you can have it.
Two teams would be like, you can have it, but it's what you do with it. And Forest have obviously
you look at the goal scored. And
Forest have done brilliantly. Forest have done brilliantly with not having the ball. They're a counter-attacking side, and they've done absolutely brilliant. Look at that one on 98,700.
Getting close.
1,300 to go. Yeah. But the thing about it is, I wouldn't sit here and go, I want to see him or I don't want to see him. I do think that, you know, there is going to be experimentation. I do think there has to be, doesn't there? You know, I know we've spoke about it previously, but I think there has to be. People have to be given chances, don't they? And what was interesting about what Moyes said today in the press conference was almost like he said I've been looking to give Patterson a chance, but he wasn't. It sounded like he wasn't willing to drop anyone for him. No. It was more like an opportunity arose and I took that opportunity by being left back, but he wasn't willing to actually drop something, and I found that quite interesting. And I think it was the same with James Garner. It was almost like James Garner played in the week, and now so I can change the team because we can, you know, we want to freshen it up. I think that's what's interesting is like, is he looking to change? Is he looking at like Beto and going, you haven't scored for 6 games now or whatever it is, 5 games. I can change you now. Or do you know what I mean? It's like it's organic rather than going, I am definitely going to take you out because I want to watch someone else.
Yeah, I get
and that's what I find is interesting. Is he going to make the changes for change's sake or just because he can?
But that was sort of what we discussed around the towel when it was that like, does he just throw them all in or does he do it calculated in a way? But it'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Especially with the attacking options, I think. Yeah. Because you're right, Beto hasn't scored in 6, but what does he do?
No.
Give that chance because he's been bringing him on? Does he give Schmitty that chance or what does he do?
Yeah. It's interesting. Yeah.
Or does he keep it with Beto?
It's interesting, the Beto stuff. I'm not going to go into it, but he hasn't scored for 6 and no one's actually clamouring to be out the team. Yeah. Thoughts on Onana's performance last night?
Bad,
well, what I would say is I'm glad he's not our goalkeeper.
It's funny as well that he basically gives them 2 goals after having a goal at Matic.
Yeah. No, they were both terrible, weren't they? They won, but the first one is...
The first one's
terrible,
excuse, though.
But the second one is like, to do that in the last minute when they've just come from behind is diabolical, like properly diabolical.
It was just because he could have easily just caught it as well, but he pushes it into their play. It's so weird.
Yeah.
Even if he comes at you push it to like the side or something.
I honestly think we'd save that. Like, I think what happens is, it's like goalkeepers are trained to do certain things.
Yeah, sometimes, like, you know, when you're playing footy and you just save it with your leg. Yeah. And like goalies never do that. Yeah. I just reckon you just use your leg.
Yeah. They're trained to do something different, and it's like, yeah, you're right. Whereas like if he just sort of, don't know, like that and punched it or whatever, it would have gone further, and therefore to just palm it out.
Yeah.
Brian Ball said someone started to consider. Oh no, we've heard that one, haven't they? Maybe it was from someone called Baz. I didn't read the second part of it. Right, let's see. Let's have a little look at the comments, and then we're gonna go. Danny would take a ball draw now. Yeah, I think we all would, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
I just worry if we concede an early goal. I think first 20 minutes are really, really important. Really, really important. You concede a goal and it becomes like becomes one of them then, doesn't it? It's like we've got if it's a hot day and all that, you know, and they've got a great atmosphere and everything. There you go. Tazul says, now that Moyes has admitted we are practically safe, he experiments with different plays and formations, got nothing to lose. I don't know about formations, but because I think this is the formation he wants to play. I don't think he's got the players to do other formations. Although, don't get me wrong, 3 at the back makes sense because you could play Patterson right wing back.
Yeah.
And that would make sense because then that takes Jack Harrison out the side.
And then you get Dwight McNeil in on the left. Just to give him a go there. Sort of when we speak about him, that's his position.
I'd still have Michalenko.
Yeah.
I'd still have Michalenko because I know people would say, well, Michalenko could play the left side of centre back, but you've got three. You've got the only issue I've got with 3 centre backs is I don't think we've got the pace at the back to play it.
No.
I think you have to have pace for players to get across the pitch.
That's how City did it, didn't they? They played Kyle Walker there because, like, sort of in transition, he could be the right back as well and stuff. I don't think.
But it does make sense for the players we've got and the players we haven't got. Patterson right wing back I think would make sense. That's his, like, the position he came through in playing for Scotland, and that would help, you know, then the midfield, and then, you know, you can get an extra centre forward on. So I do think I just don't think he'll change that, but it does make sense with the players we've got. It's just, we'll have to wait and see. But right, we are gonna go. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, we'll be back tomorrow after the game, or I'll be certainly live straight after the game. Whatever happens, obviously. So I'm going to do my starting 11 now, and if you're on Toffee TV Premier, business we're playing at 5 o'clock. Make sure you check that out. Thanks for watching. See you all later.